This is Tata, and welcome to its Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Monday, October 28, 2024, and tonight I'm going to be talking about Monday Night Raw, but I'm not alone. Joining me for this is Michael 101591.
Hola, everybody. Glad to be back on Datila's channel here, reviewing Monday Night Raw, and it's glad that she saved herself from not reviewing Halloween Havoc last night.
Yeah,
which was a good show. I have to say that if Datila reviewed it, she would have given it a low score, a low rating.
That's not true. Maybe somewhere in the middle, but we're not talking about Halloween Havoc.
Yes.
So let's talk about Monday Night Raw. There were quite a few things that happened, and you know what? I actually totally forgot that this was a go-home show to Crown Jewel.
I knew it, but it didn't feel like a go-home show.
It didn't feel like a go-home show.
Datila, why don't you tell the audience, what the basic is to get us hyped for the pay-per-view, because I know you always do.
I say this every time, and I think it's, well, you guys can feel free to disagree with me, but I think the purpose of the go-home show is to get you hyped for the pay-per-view. Like if you haven't been watching Raw consistently or SmackDown, like you should be able to tune into this week, like this week's Raw, this week's SmackDown, and be excited for Crown Jewel. I mean, you and I were going to watch Crown Jewel regardless because, we review wrestling. Oh, you're not? Oh, okay. Well,
I have to work, which sucks.
Oh, my bad. But, I am. I'm going to watch regardless. But, like, the purpose of this show is to get you excited for Crown Jewel. And we're going to talk about whether it did its job or not, or if it was just your standard Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
All right. Let's kick things off talking about this Jey Uso promo. He kicked off Monday Night Raw, and he basically brings out Jimmy. And as we know, last week there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened. The Bloodline cost Jey Uso the IC title. Jey Uso went to SmackDown to go get revenge. And basically, like, Jey was telling Jimmy, like, he did this all on his own. He didn't really need Jimmy. He didn't really need the Bloodline to become IC champion. And he's just basically talking about how if they're going to come together, if they're going to reunite as the Usos, they need to be themselves. They can't be anybody's side piece or yes man. So basically, Jimmy invites Jey over to SmackDown. And then they get attacked by the Bloodline. And, Adam Pearce comes up with security. And I think it's hilarious because, as we'll see later on in the night, Adam Pearce is on the phone with Nick Aldis, telling him to take control of his roster.
Yeah, he's one to say to Nick Aldis when his roster on Monday Night Raw runs rampant.
Exactly, he can't control his roster, so he's one to talk. But I thought this was a great way to kick off Monday Night Raw. Obviously, we're building towards Survivor Series of Bloodline, the new original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline,
which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I think we've known that since like WrestleMania that this is the plan for the Survivor Series, the men's War Games match. So they, in total, if you count this segment, in total they have four segments, the Usos. So the next segment that we get with the Usos, they actually run into Sami Zayn, and Sami asks to speak to Jey alone. So here's like them running into Sami, and basically like Sami's trying to encourage him not to get involved, and because he's trying to like figure out why is he gonna go back, and Jey basically says you're not family, you wouldn't understand. So I feel like Sami Zayn's involvement is going to lead to a couple of things, but I'll get more into that as we get to the next segment.
Yeah.
What did you think of this?
I thought this was pretty good. Sami Zayn, we haven't seen Sami Zayn since Monday Night Raw, the first Monday Night Raw when it was 2 hours. So it's good to see him back. I think he's going to get involved in this in the Bloodline feud heading into Survivor Series, which I'll give my thoughts when we get to the next segment.
Well, we have one more segment before we get to that one.
Yeah.
So in the next segment, Jey basically asked Jimmy if he's talked to Sammy. And Jey tells Jimmy that that he's not family, but Jey reminds Jimmy that Sami Zayn was there for him when he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that something bad's going to happen if they talk, which was, interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting as well.
So the final segment that occurs with the Usos, we see Jimmy and Jey catching Sami Zayn talking to Solo Sikoa. We don't know about what because we can't hear the conversation. But Jimmy does tell Jey that family's all they got, and the Reigns and then will have to do this. So Jey looks confused here. Like he doesn't know what to think. And now Sami Zayn's involvement in all of this is kind of interesting because I didn't think this was how it was gonna go. Kind of. Especially after Bad Blood. I thought that Solo Sikoa would get kicked out of the bloodline and he would go join the new bloodline, and then maybe like Hikuleo would take his place, but like the person in charge of the group would have been The Rock. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
I
think that seeing Sami Zayn there, talking with Solo Sikoa, this could set up maybe two options. First option, he aligns with the Usos and Roman Reigns, or he aligns, from what we saw here tonight with talking to Solo Sikoa, he could align with the new bloodline. So I think Sami Zayn's going to have to make a choice.
And here's the interesting part about Sami Zayn's involvement. If you remember the first War Games match, it was the Bloodline versus the Babyfaces.
Mm-hmm.
Sami Zayn was on that team, and he was on the Bloodline team, and basically the finish involved Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens is like turning heel over on SmackDown. So I feel like if Sami Zayn gets aligned with the bloodline, Kevin Owens is just gonna snap. Because remember, he said that Cody and Randy betrayed. I know we're on Raw, but like this ties into it. He said Cody and Randy betrayed him. So how do you think he's gonna feel when Sami Zayn rejoins the original bloodline?
He's gonna feel disappointed.
Yeah. So Sami Zayn's involvement could definitely be interesting in this, but I definitely think that he's going to rejoin. I think that he's going to try to stay out of this, not get involved, but somehow, some way, he's going to get pulled into getting involved.
Into this whole situation.
Yeah. So
it's going to get interesting.
Oh, it is. And as of Friday, we only have 29 days to book the Survivor Series. So we got just what, like, I don't want to say we got 29 days but we got 1, 2, 3, 4 Monday Night Raws after this Friday to build the Survivor Series. So
SmackDown on Friday is going to be a tape show anyway. So
yeah, it is.
And next week's Raw is going to be taped as well.
Mm-hmm. So it should be interesting to see what happens with Sami Zayn. All right. So we get an Adam Pearce segment. Basically, Judgment Day interrupt and they want to know who Dominik's opponent is. Let me tell you, everyone and their mother knew Damian Priest was going to be Dominik's opponent.
Of course, no doubt about it. One person I saw online joked and said, "Oh, it was going to be Goldberg." Can you believe that?
Yeah,
if it was Goldberg,
it was going to be Damian Priest. It was so obvious. It was so obvious.
Yeah, we saw that when it was announced last week.
Yeah. And basically, Dom's is going to go out there alone, which we later learn doesn't happen. But we'll get more into that when we talk about the main event. So next we get Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser, which I thought was a really great match.
And I thought it was a good match as well. This was their first match since they last fought on Monday Night Raw back in August.
Is that when Kaiser got the rib injury?
Yeah, that was on the August 5th Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, this was a good match. It's no surprise Sheamus won, though.
Obviously.
I wonder if we're gonna get, like, I know right now he's feuding with Ludwig Kaiser, but I wonder if somehow, like, because you know how the IC title is the only title Sheamus hasn't won, so like I wonder if somehow we're gonna get Sheamus versus Braun Breaker.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Same. We next to get a Rhea Ripley like Vignette, and she's basically talking about Raquel Rodriguez and all the past that she made. Basically, she just wants her title back.
Yeah, it's all Rhea Ripley, has been saying in these promos. I want, my Women's World Championship back, the title that I never lost. I have to go through Liv Morgan. She's gonna have to go through hell with me.
Yeah,
basically what Rhea Ripley has been saying in these video promos. Same stuff.
Yeah, nothing new was said. Okay.
One option I saw online is that people want to see Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan go at it again for the title, but in a Hell in a Cell.
That I wouldn't mind, but only if this Hell in a Cell ends the feud permanently and we don't get a continuation.
Yeah. Or in a steel cage.
Next week is Zelina Vega versus Ivy Nile. This match was just okay.
You know what I did during this match?
What?
Surf YouTube and watch YouTube videos. That's how much I cared about this match.
It's not that Zelina Vega and Ivy Nile are not talented. They're really talented. It's just that WWE hasn't done anything to make us care.
Yeah.
That's all what it is, really.
It's like every time a women's match comes on, it's like, oh, I don't care. Let me just go to the bathroom, do what I gotta do, get a snack, come back, and the match is over. It's like they're not having you invested in the women's division, in these women's matches. I feel like
in some women's matches, because there are some women's matches that they're great.
Yeah,
it's just in some. I just and it shouldn't be like that. You should want to like care about all the women's matches.
I got the same feeling in AEW with
That's a whole talk for Wednesday.
That's a whole talk for Wednesday.
We'll be here all night if we have that conversation.
Yeah.
So next we get a Seth Rollins promo / segment. And, of course, like this starts off as your typical promo with Seth Rollins, like saying that he's a monster as well. And then like he basically goes after Bronson Reed because Bronson Reed had appeared in the Titantron and basically said, if you're looking for me, come and find me. And we get a mini parking lot brawl. Honestly, I would not mind seeing a parking lot brawl between Seth freaking Rollins and Bronson Reed.
Yeah, this has been booked really well. I've been enjoying what they're doing with Rollins and Bronson Reed.
Yeah, like when he curb stomped him onto the hood of the car, I was like, how the hell did he get up from that?
I said the same thing. I'm like, this guy took a stomp on the hood of a car, and already he's back up.
And then Seth Rollins got a Death Valley driver through the tables. So this was great.
And not to mention last week's show, they were in 3 brawls during the night last week.
Mm-hmm. I think Bronson Reed should go over Seth Rollins.
I think so too.
But this was like a perfect example, as we mentioned earlier. Adam Pearce cannot control the roster. He tried to stop Seth Rollins from going out there. Seth Rollins just walked right by him.
And Bronson Reed's just taking out all the security.
Exactly. It's like he was talking about how Nick Aldis needs to control his roster. He got to control Raw.
I hope Nick Aldis on SmackDown comes back with a retaliation on that.
You know something? I know when Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis were first assigned their GM spots, like they were kind of teasing, kind of hinting at like the traditional Raw versus SmackDown. I mean, I know Adam Pearce hasn't wrestled in God knows how long,
I think they're playing it into Survivor Series.
I wonder if we might get a match between Nick Aldis or Adam Pearce, or if we might get just a traditional 5-on-5 Raw versus SmackDown here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go with the traditional 5-on-5. I don't see Pearce and Aldis getting back in the ring.
Hey, Aldis can still go. He was in TNA before he became SmackDown GM.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of his matches, so I can't critique on how good he was.
Him and his real life wife Mickie James fought Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So
I want to see Matt Cardona come back to WWE.
Well, he's in TNA. He had a match this past weekend.
I know. Same with Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry needs to come to WWE as well. He's come into the Rumble next year.
Maybe. All right. So we get an R-Truth segment. This starts off as your typical R-Truth segment. Him being funny and kind of being oblivious.
Yeah.
What I like about this is that the Miz interrupts and kind of like, Tyler, yo.
Hey.
We think that he's gonna believe whatever the Miz is telling him, but he actually he doesn't. He knocks him out, and then like as he's walking by Pete, he's like, "Hi Pete, have you seen Butch?" Oh, if looks could kill Pete,
no, he goes, "Hey Butch."
Yeah,
and that's probably gonna lead to a match between them.
He looked like he wanted to murder R-Truth for that.
We'll probably get that match next week.
I don't want to say it's going to be a squash match, but it's
probably going to be a short match. It will be a squash match.
Yeah, I don't think R-Truth would beat Pete Dunne.
Yeah, because R-Truth was like, after he slapped Miz, he's like, "Oh, good luck with the Wyatt Six." To Miz, because the Wyatt Six are now going to target the Final Testament and also the Miz, which I don't care. I really don't.
It's simple for me to be called up to Miro. So I don't think so.
No.
I think he needs to win the world title first.
No, he needs to stay in NXT. He's not ready for the main roster yet.
Although I wouldn't mind seeing this match, but I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
So next we get the World Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Tournament match. It's the New Day versus the LWO in the form of Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus the War Raiders. Now, the War Raiders looked really good in this match, despite the fact that this is their second match, I think, since coming back.
I think so, yeah.
This is like their second match coming back. Now, an interesting thing to note here was that Kofi Kingston had signaled Xavier Woods to do the Daylight, but instead of listening to Kofi, he went after Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
And Chad Gable pulled Rey into an ankle lock. And this allowed the War Raiders to win. And I honestly think the War Raiders are taking this whole tournament.
Yeah, me too. I think they're going to win it. They're going to be the new World Tag Team Champions. And JD McDonough and Finn Balor are going to drop the titles to them.
Oh, yeah, I think that's definitely the case. But it's interesting that Xavier Woods pretty much ignored Kofi Kingston's
his tag,
not his tag, but his I don't want to say order, but he's basically because Kofi was telling him, go for Daylight, but he ignored him. So yeah, I think so too. I think it's pretty obvious Xavier Woods is turning heel here.
Well, a lot of people are like, "Oh, maybe Kofi will be the one to turn heel," but in my opinion, I'm sticking with Xavier Woods.
Me too. So you can kind of say Xavier Woods is the reason that the New Day lost.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, if with the War Raiders going to win the titles, it's going to build them up, a whole lot more. They're going to hopefully they get over.
Oh yeah, I really like your series of Viking Rolls matches that they had. I hope they bring that back with this run.
Yeah, they're kind of very good.
Even though they're not the Viking Raiders anymore, they're the War Raiders still. I actually really like those matches.
Much better name, and they got their old NXT theme back.
Mm-hmm. So you could see the Miz complaining to Adam Pearce, and he gets interrupted by Final Testament. They basically want him to find Uncle Howdy.
Yeah. And the Miz was bragging to Adam Pearce about, oh, where's my personal security?
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of laughs. Adam Pearce kind of laughs at the Miz.
Yeah, he does.
You need security because you just got slapped by R-Truth.
So the main event ends up being Dominik Mysterio versus Damian Priest, which was an okay match. Dominik Mysterio got the win after he got a roll up because, Judgment Day intervened. Carlito went out there, JD went out there,
Obviously, when
and
you
Liv
saw
were
them,
out there. And
obviously
then
when you saw them come out there, you knew that Dominik was going to win it.
yeah. And then, at the end of the match, Tom got a razor's edge and chair shots. And then Carlito tried to save him, but he also suffered a South of Heaven chokeslam. And then Dom also got a South of Heaven chokeslam. And that's how Monday Night Raw came to an end. And honestly, I'm so over this Judgment Day feud with Damian Priest and just Rhea Ripley. I'm so over it because I feel like Judgment Day's booking here has not helped them one bit.
They're being overbooked.
Who, Judgment Day?
Yeah, because with the whole, them coming out there to help, either Liv Morgan or Dominik or any other member of the group that are in one-on-one matches.
I feel like Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest have been overbooked because they seem to always get the upper hand over Judgment Day. While Judgment Day, there's not the same Judgment Day as when Damian Priest and Rhea were in there. Like when they were in there, they were such a dominant group. Now I don't know what this is. This is not a dominant group. I'm just so over this feud.
I think they just want to keep the Judgment Day, just together because I guess WWE didn't want to break the group up, and so they just added Liv Morgan in there and Raquel and Carlito.
Now it's interesting. I don't know why they didn't air this on Raw. I guess because of the 2 hour. But on Twitter, on WWE socials, they actually posted a video of all of Judgment Day taking Dominik back to their clubhouse. And Finn Balor seemed really upset that JD Madonna went out there. And then if you notice when Liv asked him what was going on, he was just like, oh, we got to focus on their tag titles. But that's not what he told JD. He told JD, oh, Dom said to do this alone. Why'd you go out there? You know?
I did not know about the video until Datila told me about it to check it out. So I did.
And not only that, but when Judgment Day was surrounded Dominik, Finn Balor was kind of off to the side. And as they were saying that Dom's going to be the new champion, the look on Balor's face said it all. Because remember, the whole reason Balor turned on Damian Priest was because Damian Priest, you can make the argument, was the reason that Finn Balor did not become champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly think Finn Balor here is somehow, some way, maybe inadvertently going to cost Dom the title opportunity here.
Yeah,
because he basically wants to be champion.
And do you know Finn Balor wasn't the one that went out there during the match.
Exactly. He was the only one that didn't go out there. And I feel like when they lose the tag titles, that's going to cause some tension.
Yeah, and then we're going to get Balor versus McDonough.
I think so too. But like I said, hopefully we start to move on from Damian Priest and from Rhea Ripley because this is going to get old fast.
Yeah. It's time to move on.
Yeah, and it doesn't...
What else could they do?
And it doesn't help when Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest have already beaten Liv Morgan, Dominik, and Finn Balor.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. That's the end of the reviews. On a scale from a 1 to a Sean Spears perfect 10, what would you rank tonight's show?
7 out of 10.
A 7 out of 10?
Yeah, it was a good show. Nothing newsworthy coming out of the show, like from the matches, but overall, good show. But as a go-home show, it did nothing to hype us up for Crown Jewel on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And the card for Crown Jewel is looking good.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I also agree this is a 7 out of 10. I really was not. I didn't like the main event.
It was decent for what
it was okay.
But
it was okay.
we've seen Priest and Dominik go at it before.
Yeah, was not a huge fan of the main event. So it's a 7 out of 10 for me. As a go-home show, this did not do its job. You're supposed to get hyped for Crown Jewel. If they hadn't reminded me Crown Jewel was this Saturday, I totally would have forgotten. This was your run-of-the-mill Monday Night Raw. As a go-home show, I have to give this a 4 because I'm not hyped for Crown Jewel based off this Monday Night Raw.
And SmackDown is probably not going to deliver as well as a go-home show
we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait.
Yeah. But overall, like I said, pretty decent Raw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, as we get ready to sign off, where can people find you, Michael?
Well, you guys can find me at my channel here, Michael101591. I do WWE reviews. I do Monday Night Raw reviews every Monday. My review of tonight's Monday Night Raw is up on my channel. So you guys could go to my channel after this live stream and check out my review of Monday Night Raw tonight, where I go over the whole show, move to move in the matches. I review SmackDown every Friday, AEW Dynamite every Wednesday, the PLEs. I review, do movie reviews. I do DVD, Blu-ray, 4K updates. I have old school commercials on my channel. So if you're very nostalgic and want to check out some of that stuff, subscribe to me. Come over to my channel, and we'll have some fun. And maybe this week, thinking about probably going live with Datila if she is available to. We'll do our Crown Jewel predictions. So maybe that will happen.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
As for myself, you can follow me on Twitter at @this_. Talk WWE, AEW, TNA. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays. I was a little under the weather last week, so I didn't review. I didn't do my full week of review. That should be back this week. And then for all things TNA, you can check me out every Thursday on Body Slam's Burden. I talk TNA. We did review Bound for Glory. So if you are a TNA fan, make sure you go on Body Slam and check out our review of TNA Bound for Glory. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continuous review. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you can notify whenever I go live or do a new video. And I'll see you guys Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.
Yeah.